Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about tips to casual cosplay. So, cosplay can be in so many different forms, and one of the most popular and easiest thing to do right now is casual versions of our favorite characters. There is such a plethora of amazing cosplays out there, and amazing characters, and amazing fandoms in general, that it's hard to do full elaborate versions of every single one. So, doing a casual one is a lot more financially stable, able, and smart. But you can also do full versions of a character and then also do a casual version just to have an alternative to wear after a long day for a more chill environment or just if you prefer it. So, here are some tips and tricks to how I like to do casual versions of characters. My example today is going to be Loki. I have done quite a few different versions of this character because I absolutely love him. I love all the different interpretations, all the different styles, all the different costumes. I just love, love, love Loki. And honestly, who doesn't? It's a great character. So, my starting tip for this is to just really explore the color palette of the character. Loki has golds, greens, blacks, browns, and depending on the version, it can change so slightly or so drastically, which I absolutely love. So you can do different versions of a full suit of armor, kind of like in Ragnarok. You could do a Sylvie interpretation, a comic interpretation, or even Gator Loki. There are just so many different ways to take color palette inspiration from this character specifically. And I think it's really awesome. The main ones that I pull are gold, green, and black. And I think that really shows in my casual versions of this character. And from the color palette, you can kind of go off of a decision of wig wear. Now, obviously, you don't have to wear a wig to still be cosplaying, especially if you're doing a casual version of the character. If I wanted to, I could just throw horns on this and call it a casual Loki cosplay. And that is totally valid. That is totally good. For me specifically, I do really like to wear wigs when I cosplay. I think it adds a better look for me personally, but again, not necessary. For Loki, I have a couple different versions of wigs that I have worn. I've done lace front, I've done hard front, I've even done bangs. So it really just depends on what you want to go for. On to the next one is use what you have. You do not have to have an elaborate, comfortable, casual cosplay. I personally have so much of his color palette already, and I've been gifted a lot of things for this character, and I just think it's easy to find different things that I think this character personally would wear. So, using cheap and efficient kind of items will really help you be comfortable, and it'll help the product come out a little bit faster if you are on a time crunch. One of my biggest tips is to start with the basics and add from there. So for me personally, we're going to be starting like with a green dress or a green shirt or a gold shirt and then adding and building it up to kind of show the character, which leads into the next tip is using simple props and simple accessories. For a character like Loki, obviously he has the horns or the helmet or just that kind of symbolism of the horns, which is pretty easy to either make, buy, or just find. I find that a lot of people have been donating cosplay stuff recently, so it is super easy to stumble across a gold crown, possibly to symbolize the horns, or making a little wire crown, or just buying some horns flat out. There's so many resources for characters like this, and sometimes, yes, you do have to be a little bit more creative, but I've seen people cosplay Loki by just like drawing on little horns, adding little like golden jeweling to their head, to their wig, or just not even including that part of the character design at all, which is your choice at the end of the day. And from that, you can really build up with props if you have any. It doesn't have to be exactly like the reference material, obviously, especially if you're going for comfort and funding like efficiency. So for me, whenever I cosplay Loki, I don't always use my big old scepter. It's bulky. I don't want to carry it. I don't like it. So you can just use a simple dagger. You can just use no dagger. You could use the TVA temp pad even, or just a cool booklet. And I think that works really well. All right, now that we've gone over some of the basic tips, I'm going to show you some base pieces that I have personally used and think would work great for Loki cosplay in a casual version. Starting off with this shirt that has a huge Loki horn emblem with the word variant on it from Domain Apparel. I have this version and a couple other versions of the base coloration, and they have those options still, I think. The shirt is also paired with a Loki emblem necklace from GameStop, which I really like. I think it can work for any casual versions of Loki. And this is a great way to negate the horns if you want to. I have worn this with horns, with a wig, with a skirt, with jeans, leggings, anything you can imagine. And it screams Loki variant. And you can use this for a Sylvie, Gator Loki, anything you really want. This would work pretty well. My next example has no real indication that it is Loki, but it still counts. It is just a base green shirt romper and a little gold necklace. I think this would be really, really cute with a couple more accessories, a pair of horns, or even just a little bit more pop of gold. But this in itself would be a great starting point for a casual Loki cosplay. All this is stuff I already had, so it is just an example to show you that work with what you got. It can be cheap. This is less than like $10 worth of like coloration palette choice to match the character. And then this one, I actually bought specifically to do a casual version of Loki. It is not necessary to do that. I did that because I wanted to wear a body harness that I bought in inspiration for Loki. But again, do what you want. I have also paired it with a snake necklace that has little bits of pearl on it. I believe this necklace is either from Claire's or Francesca's, and I think it screams Loki. There are so many different versions of the character that I think it is so easy to mash up the different characteristics, textures, and choices from the character. I'm going to show you a couple more options for accessories as well that I personally love to add to my casual Loki stuff. Now, I know this seems excessive, but it's just because I have a collection of horns. I have this leather set that I have used for Loki in the past and have borrowed and given out to people to use for their Loki. I'm also planning a steampunk version of him with this as well. But I also have this awesome set of horns from Sales on Studio and GameStop. So I've got like the kid Loki horns, the gator Loki, and even an emblem that would make it super duper easy to do casual versions of the character with. Again, these are not necessary, but I think they are awesome accessories to add. But I can show you a couple of cheaper options as well. These are a couple cheaper options for accessories that I've used for Loki or planned on using. These are Sylvie horns that I have also used for different versions of Loki in the past for just parties and stuff like that. They are so simple, and I believe I got these pretty cheaply off of Etsy from BratPrince. And yeah, really easy, simple addition to add. It doesn't have to be Sylvie to be wearing those horns. I have also been tempted to add some horns to this golden flower crown. I think it would be super cool to do just a cutesy Ren Fair version. And this gold is screaming Loki to me. It would be so easy to add, or not add the horns, just to add a little crown, because he is a prince of Asgard. A couple other items I have are this chain belt that is originally from my X-23 cosplay that I've used for my Umbreon cosplay, and many other simple looks. It is just a little bit of a gold pop, a little bit of texture difference, and I think it could really, really elevate the casual version of a character if you had something similar. And then this piece I have used loads of times for Loki. This is actually my Jasmine necklace though, which I think it works so well for both characters. It could also work for Aurora and many, many other cool versions of just different simple characters because it is such a solid base piece. These kind of accessories are definitely not necessary, but look pretty cool when you're wearing a green dress or t-shirt with the variant kind of vibes. Here is another thing that you can be adding to your casual versions of your characters, and it is corsets, waist accessories, or anything else. So let me show you. This one is specifically the Loki inspired Lemonly Studio Loki corset, waist trainer, waist belt thingy. I really love this one. It is inspired by one of his costumes in the cinematic universe. It is super duper cute, and it is one of the main components to my formal version of Loki. It is just so cool and so detailed. But you don't need something that character specific for a casual cosplay. So this is a great alternative. Just a normal black corset. This is actually a thrifted one with some steel boning, I think, and it is super duper nice and would still be able to add a little bit more character definition, some more like body contouring if that is a look you're going for with your cosplay. And I think it is just super duper easy to add something like this for such a elaborate character if you want. But again, none of this is necessary because comfort is key when it comes to these casual cosplay looks. Any single version that I have shown, any of these accessories, would be amazing to compile together to do a casual, comfortable, and cost efficient version of Loki. But I hope this inspired you for your next casual cosplay or your next cosplay in general. But that is it from me for this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! Thank you to everyone in my Mr. Stark tier, especially Louis, John, and Mondo, and everyone else on Patreon. Thank you guys so much. Bye!